All right. Good evening there. If you're in Norway watching this, I know we're on the internet. Supposedly you can watch it anywhere. But this is coming to you through Rootsy Music in Norway. My name's Robbie, and I'll be playing for the next 40, 50 minutes. It's early here in the U.S., so, well, you know how your voice is and everything when you get up. But I figured I'd wear pajamas because, whether it's evening in Norway or morning here in California, uh, or really any time around the world during lockdown is pajama time. Try this one. Well, corn in the crib won't turn your dollar green. A dollar won't get you high. Some days a drop is all a body needs. Some days the bottle drains dry. Pockets of change don't drive my worry down. Diamonds don't make me shine. It's a short life and a long time underground. I'll trade your money for wine. I've seen your towns from a long black Lincoln boys back when copper was king. 10 years I stood on the same street corner, boys. I never wanted a thing. Pockets of change don't drive my worry down. Diamonds don't make me shine. It's a short life and a long time underground. I'll trade your money for mine. Wild were the nights when I was rolling, boys. No hunger unsatisfied. Beard was my name in Elko County, boys. Now they just walk on by. Banker, he spares a quarter for my cup. It's trouble deeper than mine. That way of life, boys, there ain't gold enough. I'll trade your money for wine. Now see how the rain washes the sulfur dust off to the wide blue sea. Freed from the rock, the copper flies to where no miner ever may see. Shallow your cares and main your industry, so says the wide blue sea. I never burden God on your account. Don't waste your prayers on me. I've seen a man of wealth and family scream till his hair's gone gray, laid in the ground just like I'm gonna be. He might have drunk it away. Now pockets of change don't drive my worry down. Diamonds don't make me shine. It's a short life and a long time underground. I will trade money for wine. My eyes say no, but I push right over. Belt winding 6'5", but I push right over. Just get me in a room and start. You're looking at an easy mark. One little kiss strips my heart, jump starts my motor. Way down on the soft touch, I push right over. You don't need to say much, 'cause I push right over. So honey, go dim that light. Start pushing with all your might and hold on tight. Now push right over. Blue eyes and a face so pretty. What look at I hit the floor. I'm begging you stay here with me, 'cause I'm never gonna need you more. The room spins and the clock's unwind, and I'm stone cold sober. I ought to wear a big sign. I push right over, 'cause I'm a sucker for low-cut tops. You're kicking out all the stops. It's over when the big guy drops, and each second he's lower. Way down on the soft touch, I push right over. You don't need to try much, because I push right over. So baby, go dim that light. Start pushing with all your might and hold on tight. Now push right over. Hooray for me. All right, that's a little love song from a long time ago. I push right over. And so weird doing this stuff, there's no audience, which ordinarily that kind of helps to have an audience, even a small one there, clapping their hands, looking at you, eye contact and all that, looking around the room a little bit. But I'm looking out kind of above the computer and seeing like horses ride around. I'm in an area of Los Angeles where there are a lot of horses. And then I'm looking down at the computer and seeing my ugly face, and that's a little disconcerting as well. And then I look sort of onto that side. I see my wife like working the controls over there, like the frickin' Wizard of Oz, And anyway, the whole thing's not, too inspiring, the whole vista. But that's why we're professionals. We get beyond that. And speaking of professionals, somebody I admire a lot, Molly O'Brien and her husband, Rich Moore. I kind of doubt they're watching today, but they were watching the other day because I do a fair number of these online shows. They were watching, and then I was playing kind of poorly that day. I don't know why. Some days you play well, and some days are, well according to your means. And other days you just can't get it going. And that day I wasn't getting it going. I found out later that she was looking at it, she and Rich, and so I was kind of embarrassed retrospectively, which is kind of a useless emotion. But anyway, I had her in mind today, and since I'm playing better today, I'll try this for her. This is a tune of mine that she recorded a couple years back, barroom song, and we'll try it for you in the key of B. Oh, the daylight goes out, now the big door swings shut, and a long ago song starts to play, and the cares and the crimes of this weary old world go easily drifting away. There's a spot near the tap that they've helped me, and they smile when they see me appear. And it's not for the charm or the coins in my palm. They want me here. They want me here. Let a man scale the stars, and his story's his own. But a sad man is always the same. From his youthful height hurled, now he's lost to the world, and they won't have him back where he came. I've offered my life for a country, a woman, a child, a career, and for all that I gave, just to push to the grave. No, they want me here. They want me here. Old John's in his cups, now his thoughts turn to her, who left him in 75. It's a tale we know well, and it weaves a warm spell, and he tells it as though she's alive. Jimmy's home to his wreck, but he swears it's his luck to be rid of that bitch and her boys. And the bartender smiles as he wipes clean the glass and turns his tired face from the noise. All the bright-eyed ambitions among us lie still neath the press of the years. Them that's left me I'll use in the company I choose. They want me here. They want me here. Daylight goes out, now the sun has sunk low, and the dreams of the children entwine with the howl of the jets and the shouts from the bar and the songs of a happier time. So here's to the ones gone before us, and here's to a few close and dear. They're the finest I know, and they won't let me go. They want me here. They want me here. Thank you very much. Yeah, that word drear, I kind of prefer to dear, and so when I got the word dear, I put in the word drear because it's kind of a better word. I think I used drear in another song. I can't remember which one now. A few close and dear is actually more descriptive of my social circle than close and dear. Anyway, Molly's brother Tim, I'm very much looking forward to doing a show with, I think not in the coming week, but the next, for Fitzgerald's over in Chicago. And Molly and Tim did a record back in the 80s. They did 2 records, and they were both full of great songs. And this one here that they recorded on their first one, it might be, I think this might be my favorite song that Gillian Welch ever wrote, which is kind of a large statement because she's written so many good ones, but I don't think she ever recorded it, but it's on that record that Tim and Molly did, and I'll try it now to sort of keep warming up here. How's the foot tapping going?
Great.
You can hear it? She went back to Wichita, went back to Ma and Pa. Reckon I saw her next to my truck, pumping gas with the car packed up. We talk as neighbors will, they're waiting for the tanks to fill. We talk about nothing, how it might snow, how far she had to go. Going back where the grass grows tall and the fields burn in the fall. You can still hear the night birds call back in Wichita. She came here in 85, came here as a July bride, but I never got easy, never got rich, ain't got much but what she came here with. Good times have all been spent. She ain't broke, but she's badly bent. Nothing she wants here, nothing that shines. She made up her mind, going back where the grass grows tall and the fields burn in the fall. You can still hear the night birds call back in Wichita. She says for all my time I ain't got much to show. You can ask that man of mine or anyone who wants to know. Going back where the grass grows tall and the fields burn in the fall. You can still hear the night birds call back in Wichita. Almost stayed in tune for the whole thing.
Preston Fulks says he can't hear the foot tapping.
Oh, yeah?
Can I get you a shoe?
How about now? So, yeah, I'm seeing some messages come through here. It says, good evening. Hey, that's a heavy statement. Good morning from Seattle, blah, blah, blah. Morning from Austin, says Dallas Wayne. Oh,
Your mom's watching?
Who is?
Your mom?
My mom's watching.
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
Don't swear.
Don't swear. Be good. So I'll address this maybe primarily to Norway, because in my mind I'm playing in Norway because it's this particular company that's hosting the performance this morning. And the first time I came to Norway, I can't remember what year it was. It might have been 2003 or 4. Anyway, not so long ago, and it was to play at Bergen. They used to have a great festival up there called Bergenfest, and it was memorable because it somewhat like city stages in Alabama or couple other really notable American festivals. This is a multi-day thing on many stages around town, and I think Bergenfest was 10 or 11 days, and just everybody that you'd want to see in every genre of American music and maybe other stuff besides. And as I said, it was my first time there. Bergen is just an unbelievably beautiful town, one of the prettiest towns in the world, I think, that I've seen anyway. And the people also. I mean, the people. Come on, the people. The people are crazy over in Norway. By the way, I'll say let's all my Norwegian friends that I've met over the years: Rune Latrude and his wife Gunnar, and Vibeke Sjøvold is hosting this, and Vibeke Andresen, and that's actually all. I've only got 4 friends over there, but we'll say hello to them anyway. The Bergen thing was memorable. Everybody's so kind, and the show was interesting because of my first introduction to a Norwegian audience who Norway and Sweden are quite different. You know, if you go there, well, they're different in subtle ways and in a few large ways. But in Sweden, like they clap normally, like the American clap. You know, after a song, the American clap, as they call it, is just kind of free floating, and like I'll be clapping like this, and my neighbor will be clapping like that. You know, different tempos. In Norway, it's all the same tempo. You know, you finish the song and they go clap, clap, clap in rhythm, and we do that in America for an encore. But after every song in Norway, they like clap in rhythm, or at least they did at Bergenfest there. So I started thinking, wow, is this are the Nazis still running Norway? I thought, you know, what is this rhythmic clapping going on? And also, you know, the demeanor of the people as you look out. Like I thought, they're hating this show. They're hating my show out there, and maybe they were. But the thing with Norwegian, you can't tell when they're hating something from when they're loving it. And you look out, and they got their arms folded like this, and they're regarding you with like what seems to be icy contempt. But then you get to know them and you talk to them afterward, you know, and hang out with them a little bit, and that's just the way they are. They're unemotional people, which I came to admire. You know, the more I was there, I came to. I mean, now that I've comically slammed it, I'll kiss your ass and say that it's really one of my favorite places to play anywhere. Maybe my favorite place to play. Norway, followed closely by their enemy, Sweden. So anyway, I did that tune, and we'll take requests in just a little bit here. I'll see what y'all are saying on the sidebar here, and you want to hear. But meantime, I'll tell you what I'll do. I'll do this new one I made up. I've done it a couple times on these online things, and seems to be extremely popular. It's a thing called bands, and I'm sure my wife Donna will join me on the bridge here. Bands. Bands. We've all been in them. They drive around in vans, sleep on the floor. Their lives are boring, like their recordings. So let's not talk about your band anymore. Let's not talk about the record business or the way your drummer used to drink. About your young years, I don't share your interest. I just hired you to fix the sink. Bands, we've all been in them. They drive around in vans, sleep on the floor. Their lives are boring, like their recordings. So let's not talk about your band anymore. You were the darlings of the English press. Who cares? Your fan base was biggest in the Midwest. Who cares? My uncle served in both the Iraq wars. His stories are tiresome, and they're twice as good as yours. So let's focus, if we can, on the plumbing, because plumbing is a boon to humankind. of 5 years of cheap motels and drunken drumming. Well, that's an everyday mistake to leave behind. Bands, we've all been in them. Sing along. Drive around in vans, sleep on the floor. Their lives are boring. Their lives are boring, like their recordings. So let's not talk about your band anymore. No, let's not talk about your band anymore. Bands. Thank you, one lady. Alrighty, let's do.
Mike Fredrickson says, ouch.
Who?
Mike Fredrickson says, ouch.
Oh, Mike's looking. Mike, I want you to record that song. That's kind of like something that you would write. All right, let's do a tune here. She said she was leaving, so I went to follow. Blind love and I-55 got me here. Dirty old salt truck in the smoke before me. Dear old Dixie back in the rear view mirror. Got a third-story walk-up with a view of the alley. A mailroom job that isn't all glamour and fun. The woman I came for is gone to another. And now my feet are just too planted to run. There's no Carolina moon over Chicago, and no bluegrass growing out in my backyard. No fields of sugar cane, no soft Virginia rain. Damn if this living ain't Georgia hard. Wow, on Halstead, the women walk by me like they can tell I haven't got a dollar to spare. So I turn to a side street for a beer and a sad song. I guess some things are the same most everywhere. There's no Carolina moon over Chicago, and no bluegrass growing out in my backyard, and no fields of sugar cane, no soft Virginia rain. Damn if this living ain't Georgia hard. So please, Mr. Conwell, you accept the charges. When I told you a cold day and making I lied. And if your pecan trees still need a good shaking, well, I'll be back begging as fast as the gray dog flies. 'Cause there's no Carolina moon over Chicago, and no bluegrass growing out in my backyard, sugar cane, no soft Virginia rain. But damned if this living ain't Georgia hard. No fields of sugar cane, no soft Virginia rain. But damned if this living ain't Georgia hard. You know what? It's Pete Seeger's birthday today. Let's do one of his tunes. Let's tune it up real quick first. Tuner says all is well. The tuner is not quite accurate there. The old-fashioned by ear tuning, people. That's close enough. Well, early one morning it began to rain. Around the corner from the passenger train. On the bumper was a hobo child. He's a good old rounder, but he's dead and gone. He's dead and gone. He's dead and gone. He's a good old rounder, but he's dead and gone. Now Charlie Snyder was a good engineer. Told his mama not to fear. He said all they wanted was the water and the coal. Stick your head out the window, see the driver roll, see the driver roll. Driver roll. Stick your head out the window, see the driver roll. Well, Jacob's daughter said before she died, one more road that I'd like to ride. He said, tell me, daughter, what can it be? She said, the Acres, the Pica, and the Santa Fe, the Santa Fe, the Santa Fe. She said, the Acres, and the Pica, and the Santa Fe. Now, Jacob's daughter said before she died, one more drink I'd like to try. He said, tell me, daughter, what can it be? She said, a glass of water and a cup of tea, a cup of tea. Of tea. She said a glass of water and a cup of tea. Well, it began to rain. Around the corner come a passenger train. On the bumper was a hobo John. He's a good old rounder, but he's dead and gone. He's dead and gone. Dead and gone. He's a good old rounder, but he's dead and gone. Hey, that's the best song yet. All right, what are people saying, Donna, as far as anything anybody wants to hear? I don't want to be a slave to the audience, to this, these
well, you got a
nutty
feed coming in
Norwegians.
from Rootsy and the feed coming on your page.
We want to privilege the Norwegians today.
All right.
What do they want to hear?
Oh, all right. Well, let me go look. Sorry.
They probably want to hear something emotionless.
Oh, Gone Away Backward. Stuff from that album.
Oh, okay.
Saw that come in.
Will do. I mean, I already did that, but I'll do it again.
Okay, all right. I'm just telling you what I read. Sorry, I don't have the Rootsy page pulled up, so I can't.
Oh, well, maybe I have it. Let's see. Good evening from Malmo.
Yeah, this is all right here.
Yeah, that sounds like a podcast. These all sound like, your comments all sound like podcast titles. Good evening from Stockholm. Malmo har med. They need their meds in Malmo. Hello from Ingmar Bergman from beyond the grave. The end of year shows at Fitzgerald's were okay, but this is great. All right, I'm glad you think so. I don't know if I agree with you there. I remember you doing a Molly O'Brien cover. I don't remember that one. This fascinating viewing, people. Watching me scroll through. Hello from Sweden. Unfortunately, the any request would have to be in English because I don't know my songs in Norwegian. Vibeke says, ha, 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 referencing nothing whatsoever. Ha, romancing the Swedish show there. It says, when you get to the bottom. Boy, well, that's from Gone Away Back. We get to the bottom. Buck starts here. Highway to Kentucky. Okay. You know, when you get to the bottom, let's see. 1 year free and single, and my how we've grown. You swing with the stars while I'm in this bar drinking alone. Yes, you're flying high. Live it up while you can. But when you get to the bottom, don't reach for my hand. Don't think 'cause I've fallen, I'll remain. Time's the cure. This stuff that they pour just helps with the pain. Your wild thirst for pleasure has made my despair. But when you get to the bottom, baby, I won't be there. You're living like there's no tomorrow. I live like there's only yesterday. Oh, but who will be free from their sorrow? And who'll have a lifetime to pay? So tear it up, crazy angel. Let your reckless heart roam. When you get to the bottom, you'll know you've come home. When you get to the bottom, you'll know that you're home. Well, it's ryegrass in the wintertime, flowers in spring, but Texas in the summer is now suffering. I went up on Jackson Hill at a diner, I sat down and I waved at every stranger just to move the air around. It's long to ride for the little like me. Hey, when I left that Brooklyn girl, I never thought it through. She had silk brocade in her bedroom and a job to pay for two. I think I'll get down the old guitar and see what they find. Get $1 off some more on the number 7 line. It's a long ride with a little like me. Times will treat you fine when your wallet's in your hand, but a 6-string on your shoulder might be the devil's friend. Yeah, they'll put themselves above you, but they're always ready to brag. I trade everything on Wall Street for a black mountain rag. It's a long ride from a little like gang. Well, I'll go back to my childhood if I can only go. There's a little girl down that's my heart, and she like to go. Yeah, but the party goes but one way, and the only goal in sight is to make a little more in the daytime than I drink that at night. It's long to ride, a little like They see the Norfolk Girls Affair and they all sing right on key, but I went down and never found one sing as good as me. And they see that there's a wondrous land for any good man that dies, and if it's got drinking women, well, then I'll be surprised. There's a longer ride for a little like it. So those are two from Gone Away Backward. And what are we at in terms of time? Oh, well, we're coming up on the time that they told me to cut it off. But, you know, screw that. I'm going to do a couple more here. Wrap it up. And what was that other tune somebody asked for? Oh, Highway to Kentucky. I don't know if I can remember all that offhand. I'm going to come back to that. Put a pin in that. And, you know, keep watching my online shows. I've got one on Monday. It's like an interview show with a few songs attached on it. And I've got one on the coming, I think it's Thursday, from a place in Tulsa. Anyway, the details are all on Facebook, and my merchandise is at my site, robbiefulks.com. And the what was the other thing? Oh yeah, the tip jar is somewhere on here. So if you want to throw me some money for this crusty morning performance, feel free. And if you've lost your job well, you know, I'll repeat the offer I made on the last show and on my page. But you know, if you've lost your job and you're suffering through this time period, let me know, and I will send you a free product. It's a little flash drive that I put out last year, and it's got 3.5 hours of my music on it, all new things, or at least that aren't on the records. So let's see. How about one more request and one more of my choosing? I'll do one of my choosing first. And then I'll take hopefully there's a final request. Here's a tune about when I was, it's one of those, oh, I know, I'll do this one instead. This is also sort of about a similar time frame, I guess. Although this is a number that I sometimes wonder what it's about. It's a little unclear to me what you would say the exact subject matter of this is. I was doing a record called Upland Stories, and I needed one song to sort of complete the set. And I could tell what was missing was something kind of quiet and fingerpicky and short and impressionistic. At least that's what I decided to write. And I wrote this one real quick. And sometimes that's a good exercise for a guy like me that kind of pores over every word and is kind of obsessive about, you know, spends a lot of time drafting and this and that. Sometimes it's good just to spill something out on the page. And I ended up liking this song, and not a lot of other people do, or I think they don't because it doesn't get requested. But this is a song that's, I think more than anything, it's about being middle-aged when you start to get more, you know, behind you in life than ahead, and you start time frames and people start blurring and things get a little rose-colored glasses or a little melancholy sometimes. So this is about memories and being on the road and being in the present and the past time frame simultaneously. And it's called Sarah Jane. I was young in Charlottesville, that was a long, long time. Now I'm homesick and I'm poor, poor is at least no crime. As long as I'm $1 down, tomorrow might get better. If I could erase each place I've gone. I could stop singing forever. Oh, my Sarah Jane, long years since I met you. Oh, my Sarah Jane, how many till I can forget you? I went to bed in Galveston, dreamed about Tennessee. Woke up thinking the man I was not who I was born to be. Filled my pockets with shells from the bay. Kids far away need my name. I'll be home come Saturday and put my dreaming behind me. Oh, my Sarah Jane, long years since I met you. Oh, my Sarah Jane, how many till I can forget you? Somebody told me that that was a ripoff from a Dave Van Ronk song, Green, what's it called? Green something or other. And they, so I went online and looked at it, and it is pretty, that little motif on the finger thing is pretty close to that. But anyway, that's a funny kind of thing, because oftentimes you like write a tune and have an idea that you're stealing from somewhere because it comes a little too easy and sounds a little too good right off the bat. You're like, oh, that locks right in. Well, it's because it is something else. But the funny thing about this case is that I had not heard that tune previously. I'm almost sure that I hadn't. But I was kind of a fan of Dave Van Ronk and learned a lot from one of his records anyway, so Sunday Street, when I was a kid, but didn't have access to that particular song. So somehow that might have, the idea of how he plays might inform that a little bit. Anyway, I'll do one more tune, and then we'll take a break for about 24 hours. What do we got here, Donna, on the old...
Well, you've got to say hi to Yvonne Gage.
Yvonne's looking in?
Yes.
See, that's the lesson. I expected to be watching this. She's probably not still looking. She was just looking in for 5 minutes. Sometimes I look at these things for a minute, and then it's like my friend, playing, and I'll say, hey, sounds great. And then I'll tune out and go make dinner or something. But just let them know that you support them is kind of enough. But if Yvonne's still looking, I still love you. And I hope that we can dream up some pretext for singing again. So what else? Anybody want anything?
Jean Arthur
Oh,
is
God.
requested. She took a lot of pills and died is requested.
Tell it like it was, somebody said.
Tell it like it was.
Yeah, I don't think so. That's what I've been doing all hour. Sometimes the grass is greener, says a lady called Beth. Doesn't sound like a Norwegian name.
Yeah, people are now they're bragging about their Norwegian descent from America, trying to get you to take their requests.
They're bragging about their descent from Americans? That's not a boast, people. Be proud of where you are. The Americans they're awful. Come on. Let's do what did somebody just say?
Fairly well, just came in.
Lady Beth say, sometimes the grass is greener. All right, we'll try it in the key of A. Maybe it'll be a little more friendly to the old morning voice. Trying to think if I missed anything. Did I miss anything to say to the people?
No, you talked about, no, I think you did a good job. I mean, this has been a good concert.
It's been a good concert. I think this has been one of the better ones. I think like a key is the pajamas.
Yeah, they're...
I don't know why. Maybe I feel more comfortable, or maybe maybe I'm just making that up, but I think the pajamas work better than the. What did I have? I had double plaid the other day. I had
Double
plaid
plaid.
shorts and a plaid button down.
Yeah, that may have jinxed
That was
it.
a horrible show.
Yeah.
And this is, you
Single
call this plaid?
Single plaid.
Single plaid. Plaid to the bone. You notice how nothing I own fits me? I'm like Frankenstein. I'm like Boris Karloff because they wanted to make him look bigger, so they cut his clothes shorter. But this is not working for me as well as it did for old Boris. Let's do The Grass is Greener. In a dusty shack high in the Blue Ridge Mountains, it was tough work round dirt and bluegrass songs. Sweet hickory filled the air, Daddy's love was hard to bear. If I knew how rich I was, I'd not have gone. Yeah, but the city called my name and I came a-running with my young man's hopes and my daddy's old guitar. I played the dives and paid some dues, singing every tune I knew. In them homesick ones I sang the best by far. Now I've seen the sun go down on the streets of New York town, and I've watched it from the hills of old Virginia. Beauty is what the eye beholds, one man's skirts, another's gold. Oh, but sometimes the grass is really greener. Yeah, well, the record company man confessed he liked me, but he'd had to shave a few rough edges down. Cut my hair like Brooks and Dunn's, trade the banjo for some drums, 'cause no one would buy that old high lonesome sound. I don't know just what this deal's got me. I've gained out a fan and I lost the ones I had. I've worn my heart right through my sleeve, singing a song I don't believe. I believe I'll go back home to Mom and Dad. Now I've seen the sun go down on the streets of New York town, and I've watched it from the hills of old Virginia. Beauty's what the eye beholds, one man's skirts, another's gold. But sometimes the grass is really greener. Well, in a dusty shack high in the Blue Ridge Mountains, when I die, it's on these hills they'll lay me down. And these hills will hear my song, 'cause it's there that I belong. And you just can't shake old roots from southern ground, Norwegian ground. Now I've seen the sun go down on the streets of Bergen town, and I watched it from the hills of old Oslo. Beauty is what the eye beholds, one man's skirts, another's gold. Oh, but sometimes the grass is really greener. Sometimes the grass is really greener. I can't stop playing 'cause I don't want to stop playing, 'cause the rest of the day is not gonna be as fun as this. No, it's not gonna be as fun as this. So I'll just make the tag go on for a couple more minutes. Ooh, artistic ending. All right, let's shut this fucker off.